Hello, my name is Andrew Hochradel. I'm a brand identity designer and your host for the Illustrator Challenge. Today, we are going to be looking at my top color hacks in Adobe Illustrator. I'll show you how to find a perfect palette and find the colors that are just right for your design. So if you want to follow along, you can actually grab this source file down in the description. There is a link to this file here. I know there's not a lot on it, but we're going to be working with what we got, and we're going to be bringing in some stock assets using stock.adobe.com/free because we want to use that for free. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to space these out a little bit. You don't have to do that. Just for demonstration purposes, I need to space them out a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to create a color palette using blend. We're going to select two objects that are different colors, and you usually want them to be the same shape. And we're going to go to Object, Blend, Make. And then it's going to blend between those two colors perfectly. Now, we don't want the gradient. We want to have steps in our color palette so we can kind of pick out definitive colors. So we'll go to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and then go ahead and change these blend options to specified steps. And here I'm just going to do 2 steps. And that means that it's going to figure out what is the color between this shape, and what are the colors in between those. So we have 2 steps. And I'm going to do the same thing with this chartreuse to purple. So we're just going to double click into our blend. We're going to select that one circle, edit copy, double click out, and then edit and paste in place. Same process here. Select our 2 shapes, go to blend make, object blend, blend options, and just change that to 2 specified steps. So we'll hit OK, and boom. Now we have a perfect sweet little gorgeous palette, and we can click and drag over this whole thing and then actually create a palette out of it. So we can go to Window, you can open up your swatches panel, and from there just click on this little folder. We may run into an issue here, but we're gonna click on this little folder and hit OK. Now, you see the problem of the issue right here. We did this on purpose because I wanted to show you because you might run into this. It has only picked up 3 colors, and that's because right now, this is only 3 colors. It's blue, chartreuse, and purple, right? So those are the colors it's picked up. It's not picking up the inside because that is an effect that has been applied. So we're going to Command-Z, undo that, and go to Object, Expand. And this will create the blend into shapes, right? It's converting the blend into different shapes. And now when we click on this folder with all these selected, it will pick out the individual colors of each of those. So we can do sunset and check that out. Now we have a gorgeous color palette all the way across that we've created using a blend. Easy, easy peasy. All right, number 2, I want to show you some other color hacks that I like to use. And what we're gonna do is we're going to go to Adobe Stock and grab some resources. So I'm going to just copy this link that's happening down here at the bottom of the file. And we are going to go ahead and go to stock.adobe.com. So here's a hack. Again, I'm just giving you all the hacks and tricks today. You can go to stock.adobe.com/free right there, stock.adobe.com/free, and it will only give you free resources. It is such a great resource. So here we can do maybe abstract color blocks. And this will allow you to filter into vectors. So we can click on vector right here. And let's see. So there are all kinds of great resources here. Ooh, that one's crazy. So you can grab any of these to work along with me, or you can just paste in the link that I provided and use this asset here. You just click on license, and then you can click to open it. So we're going to grab this whole thing, click and drag over the whole thing, hit Control-C to copy, and then we're going to paste it into our color tips. So this is already looking good. I'm just going to scale it up a little bit there. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the white in the background. And the easy way to do that is to use the magic wand tool up here. And we're going to hover over the white and click, and it will select every piece that is white. And then I just hit delete. And now there's nothing behind there. It's just the organic shapes. So these are looking great, but I kind of want to split them maybe into quadrants. So I'm going to click and drag and move this over. So we have a couple different versions. All right, I'm going to show you how to change the colors of a design very easily and very quickly, and then I'll show you how to get some supplementary palettes. So using this palette that we have right here, our little sunset palette, I want to apply that to this artwork that we have on our artboard. So I'm going to click and drag over all of these pieces and go to Edit, Edit Colors, and Recolor Artwork. It's going to bring up this panel right here, which is great. We can play around here and get advanced and kind of play around, but we want to get advanced. So we're going to click on advanced options right down here in the corner. And it's going to bring up a nice little window for us to play around with. So you can see the 4 colors that are included in this current palette, but I want to replace them with my sunset palette. All I need to do is if you have a palette that is saved into your swatches, click on sunset and check it out. It has reassigned sunset. We can shuffle the order if you want to. Click here and it will shuffle the order of that palette. So you can see this only has 4 colors and our palette has 6 colors, I believe, 7 colors. And so if we continue to randomly change the order, it will cycle through all 7 of those colors until we find something that we like. I like the vibrancy of this one a lot. So you can keep clicking. Ooh, that's very spring. So I like this. So what we can do is we can keep clicking to randomize it, or you can go in here and you can actually drag these colors around. So let's say that I want the purple to match what the purple was. You can click and drag to kind of mix these around and find the perfect kind of balance for you and what you like. So we're going to hit OK right there. And now, boom. We've got a version that is according to our color palette. This is super helpful and super easy if you are working with a brand that has a color palette. Save it into your swatches panel and then just use the Recolor Artwork. It's very, very easy. So the next thing that we can do is if we don't have a palette and we just want to kind of augment what's already there, we can click and drag with all this selected and go to Edit, Edit Colors, and then there are all kinds of options here. So if you've worked in Photoshop or are familiar at all with the filters in Photoshop, this is a lot like that, but it's not applying a filter. It is actually changing the color of the shapes that are existing there. So we're going to do adjust color balance. And with this, we are converting into RGB, and we can maybe bring up the reds, the greens, the blues. If you're familiar with color processing or photo processing in Photoshop, this is kind of like that. We're kind of just finding the same colors. So we can increase the reds a lot. Maybe I want less green in here. And we're going to click on the preview so that we can see it. There we go. And so maybe we want it to be more fall. So we're going to bring up the reds. And then the blues we're going to bring down so we have some nice kind of warm tones. And the greens, maybe we want to come down as well. Ooh, so we'll hit OK. And again, you can adjust just the fills, just the strokes, and we are playing around with adjusting the colors, but not completely changing them. So we're going to hit OK. And now these colors are all adjusted. And the cool thing is, if you land on a palette that you really like, it has changed the actual color of these shapes. So all I need to do is select them, click on my folder, and here we're going to do fall. Hit enter, and now I have a new fall color palette, right? That's looking fantastic. So it's very, very, very easy to have a bunch of different variations of your design with these color palettes, right? We could do almost infinite, right? And if I wanted to come in here and maybe grab this second row, let's do this. We can go up to Edit, Edit Colors, and play around with some of these other options. So we can blend front to back. That is going to augment the colors here. It's pretty much just going to make them all orange. But if we go Edit, Edit Colors, keep going here, blend horizontally, blend vertically. This is what we were doing earlier. So I think we could create these 2 right here. And then go to Edit, Edit Colors, and let's see. Let's do blend horizontally. Oh, must have 3. One more. What about this? What if we used, there we go. We'll use these 3. All right, so we have these 3. Go here, Edit, Edit Colors, blend horizontally. There we go. And it will readjust those colors. That's literally what we did up here. It'll readjust those colors to find a good palette. So let me go ahead and I'll just do maybe, right, we'll have like 5 of them. And we are going to go ahead and kind of pick some random colors. And this is literally what we were just doing, just in the Edit Colors menu, and it makes it a little bit easier. So we're getting real crazy with our colors here. All right, so we're gonna grab all of these, go to Edit, Edit Colors, and then blend horizontally, and check that out. It is taken from one all the way over to the other, just like we had done with the blend over here. So easy way to grab palettes right there. Something else that we can do is we can actually convert it to grayscale. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to click and drag and go to Edit, edit colors, and then convert to grayscale. Now, this is going to be a great tool for us to use in the future when we pull some other palettes. So we convert to grayscale, and now we have just the values of the colors that are here, which is great because if we start working with augmenters and different blending modes, it's going to be really interesting. But before we get there, I want to show you how to grab your own palettes using color.adobe.com. So we're going to head over to color.adobe.com, and when we're there, we can see a whole bunch of tools, right? There are a lot of tools here. If you are working with a brand that maybe has a brand color, and let's say that we're working with, just because it's easy, like T-Mobile, right? T-Mobile has this like bright magenta is kind of their color. So what I want to do is maybe I want to grab this super bright magenta. There we go. Just max it out. And you can set the key color. So you can set it as the base color by adding this little arrow right here. So we can click and it will set that as the key color for all the math that it's doing behind the scenes to find the rest of your palette. So we have this great, very, very bright magenta happening. And now it is augmenting each of the other colors in this palette to match mathematically on the color wheel what would be good matches for those. So we have analogous, we have monochromatic, and you can click through and kind of explore these options. Triad is usually interesting. Nice little complementary, that's looking good. Split complementary, ooh, this is very like summery vibes. Sorry, I had an eyelash in my eye. Double split complementary, ooh, look at those primaries, goldens. And you can kind of click through and find different color palettes that work for you. I really liked the, let's do this. I really like the triad. Let's do the triad. So I really like the triad here. And if you wanted to, you could augment and kind of drag around to find new colors. That's not what we want to do. We want to leave this at our crazy magenta. And so we're just going to click these all the way back right there. And here we can save it to a library. So right now I'm going to save it just to the library that is my default. And I'm going to name this brand colors. And we can publish it to color for other people to find as well. So we're not going to do that right now, but I do want to make sure that it's accessible. And this is a great color hack. If you're looking to create accessible colors that maybe everybody can view and see well, which is important, that's what we want to do is click right there to check colors. And our theme is colorblind safe. There we go. No conflicts found. That's what we want. And you can actually see the colorblind simulator. For people that may have different viewing abilities, you can see what these are. Protanopia? I tried. So these are different kinds of colorblindness, and it shows what it will look like to someone who may be colorblind to some of those colors, right? I think it's super cool. It's a great tool to have just to check. And then you can also go through and see your contrast. So it looks like my contrast ratio is 4.2 to 1. Not great. It fails at 17 point and below, but it will pass a lot of other ones. So you can really play around and see all of the different versions of accessibility. And we're going to hit save. So when I hit save, it is saving into my Creative Cloud libraries. We also could download this if we wanted to, but for now we're just going to save it into our library. And I can come back into Adobe Illustrator, and from there, we're going to open our libraries. So we're going to go to Window, and then CC Libraries. Oops, it is just called Libraries. There we go. And from there, I'm going to find the library that I saved it to. And this is my default library. And you can see I have brand colors already saved here. We right-click, and then go Add Theme to Swatches, and boom. Now we have all of those colors in our swatches, and I can come over here, select our design, go to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, click on Advanced Options, and then we're going to put in our brand colors right there, and maybe shuffle them around. Yeah, that's fun. We'll hit OK, and then we can see that the brand colors have now been applied to our design in a very quick, easy variation, right? Cool tool. It's a really cool tool. Something else that we can do over with color.adobe.com is explore trends. So if you don't want to create your own gradients, sorry, I read the word gradients as I was trying to talk. If you don't want to explore your own color palettes, what you can do is you can actually find trends. So you can click on trends right here, and it's going to show you everything that is trending and hot and looking good in color palettes. So you can see fashion, we've got graphic design, illustration. This is a great resource if you're an illustrator to find some awesome color palettes. And what's cool is we can just hover over. So I really like this color palette right here. I think that's fun. All I need to do is click add to library. It's syncing through the cloud. I come back into Illustrator and look at that. It's already in my Creative Cloud library. So I just select my art. I'm going to add theme to swatches. And then we are going to recolor that artwork, edit colors, recolor artwork advanced options, and then toss in our illustration color palette right there. Easy. That literally took us, what, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to pull all that through. It's super easy. Something else that you can do is you can use the Explore tab. And Explore is a great way to find color palettes and really search for stuff that is right for you. So for some reason, the thing that popped into my head is popcorn. So I'm going to, I don't know why. We're going to type in popcorn right here, and we're going to find a color palette that feels popcorny. So as we scroll down, ooh, this looks like a good like brown butter popcorn. I like this one. So we're going to hit add to library. Again, it syncs across the cloud very quickly. It's already in here. And then we select our artwork, add this theme to swatches, edit colors, recolor artwork. I know this is a lot of steps. Go to advanced options, and right there, toss in our popcorn. Shuffle it around. All right, that looks okay. I'm not crazy about how this turned out. So we're gonna hit okay. And what I can do is if I'm not crazy about how it turned out, I want it to be a little more yellow. We can actually use the default settings to change. So we can go to edit colors, and recolor artwork. And this is the panel that we're going to use kind of just as the defaults to shift these colors a little bit. So I do want it to be a little bit brighter. So you can see the brightness is selected on the left right there. And we are going to click and drag, and it's going to start to make that brighter. So that's looking good to me. And now I want to change the saturation. So we can click here, and I want it to be much more saturated, right? To get a little bit of extra oomph in there. So we're increasing the saturation right there across the board. And I think that that looks pretty good to me. Now, I'm going to go ahead and change these colors one more time. So I'm going to keep them selected, and we just use the edit colors to recolor and kind of find the right tones, but they're not necessarily the right colors, and I don't want to find a new palette. So I can go to edit colors, and we are going to do, again, adjust color balance. And from here, I'm going to grab the colors that I want. So I want less blues, so it becomes more yellow. So you can see it becoming more yellow there. All right, maybe a little more red. All right. Play around with the greens. There we go. I want it to be that yellow popcorn. So we'll hit OK. Got a little bit too saturated, but that's fine. We can again go to recolor artwork, and I'll just grab this saturation and pull it down a little bit. All right. This is looking much more popcorn-like. I like it. And I think that that works. So you can see there, we've created 5 different versions of this design very quickly with a bunch of different color schemes. Now, the last thing that I want to show you, I'm going to delete some of this. The last thing that I want to show you is to how to kind of hack the way that you create using color. It's just a really great hack if you're working with a complex illustration to retheme it to what you need it to be, or if you have a brand color. So here is the hack. We're going to go ahead and go to stock.adobe.com/free, stock.adobe.com/free. And then we are going to search, I'm going to search for luggage. And there already is some great luggage here. This looks awesome. So I'm going to click on license. It is going to download that for me, sync in a billion tiny pieces above our heads. I think I've used that quote twice now. Good old Willy Wonka. We can click here. It is going to open that. And I'm just going to click and drag to copy and paste this over onto our artboard. I'm just going to go over to the side. We're going to work over on the side here. All right. That's looking great to me. And here's my hack. We're going to go ahead and select all the white, again, using the magic wand tool. Click on the white area and just hit delete. Oh, did I delete some stitching? I did. I'm just going to use the direct selection tool to grab that background then. And here's what we're going to do. We are, hear me out, going to make all of these different colors, but create like a monochrome palette. So what we can do is we are going to go to edit, edit colors, and convert to grayscale. So it's going to make everything gray. That's awesome, right? This is what we want. Is we have a nice grayscale, and it is looking a little bit too dark for me, but we'll fix that. We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it after the fact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of all of these shapes. I'm going to go to Edit Copy, and Edit Paste in Place. So now I have a copy of all of these shapes, and I'm going to use the Pathfinder tool to condense them down. So we're going to go to Pathfinder, and then we are going to use right here Unite. And that is going to unite all of the different pieces into flat objects. This is just a very quick hack, and we want to make these separate. So I'm just going to select them. If they're grouped together, click on Ungroup, and that way you have nice, clean overlays of each of these shapes. So right now, if you think about it, we have one in the back that is grayscale, and then we have these that are sitting on front in full color. So what I want to do is I am going to grab my different colors of my brand. So we're going to use this palette right here. And I'm going to kind of just bounce around and create a different color on each one. Let's use some of our fall colors. Why not? Let's toss in this crazy purple. I think that looks good. Some of this, a little bit of that, and just, you know what? We forgot about this. Okay, so we have overlays of all of these. Looking great. I'm going to select one and show you how we have the grayscale in the background, and this is a great hack to get a monochrome look. We can go to transparency, and then change the blending mode to multiply. And now that color on top is just augmenting the grayscale that's happening below, right? And you can play around with the different types of blending modes, see what overlay does, see maybe what soft light does. And you can really play around and use that grayscale to get some interesting monochrome palettes by just adding another layer on top of it and then changing the way that it interacts. That looks really crazy. There we go. Let's try color burn on this one. Nope. Overlay, it all looks good. Let's try color burn on one that's a little bit lighter. I'm really set on doing color burn. Yeah. So you can use that and change the blending modes on these to really create some awesome palettes and change. Oh no. Oh no. Let's multiply that one. There we go. And change the illustrations completely just by using the different blending modes here in Illustrator. So again, there are two things happening. There is a gray layer behind and then the color layer in front. Now, I'm looking at some of these and I'm thinking, I feel like they might be a little dark. So it's great. And what you can do is you can just grab all of these pieces, right? And these are just our color overlays sitting on top. And I'm going to go to Object and Lock Selection. And locking the selection means that I won't be able to edit that anymore, which is what I want. I just want the pieces in the back. And so you can see if I move these, there is just still the grayscale that we converted in the back. So with all of this selected, we can go to Edit, Edit Colors, and we are going to go to Recolor Artwork. And what this is going to do is allow us to change the values. So right now you can see prominent colors, it's all gray. That's fine. But the brightness is turned down a little bit. So we're going to click and drag. And you can see now those illustrations are coming to life because the values of the grays are changing. So the color on top is staying the same and it's interacting in the same way. But because we are augmenting the lightness or darkness of the grays, it's allowing those to become a new look with a new palette just by using the power of grayscale, right? If we want really dark illustrations, great, pull it down. All the way up, that's going to be too light. So I think that's a nice middle ground and it looks pretty good to me. I'm not mad about it. So what's cool too is we can unlock this, Object Unlock. We can select all these pieces that are different colors. And let's say maybe we want to switch it up or make a copy. Again, Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, go to Advanced Options. And if you want to see what it looks like in maybe a different orientation, all you need to do is right here, randomly change color order, and it's going to give you an infinite amount of complications with these colors to find the perfect scheme for you, or to just do a bunch of options that you can ship off to your clients very, very quickly, right? We could have made a copy of that and we would have been able to ship that off to our clients. So hopefully you have learned a lot from my color hacks, and hopefully you join us for some more creative challenges here on Adobe Live. I'm Andrew Hochradel. Stick around. There is more great content on the way. We're going to have a nice video challenge coming up after this. So I will see you another time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.